Second order. Number 2, approval of minutes of July 6th. Motion, Mr. Fire. Second, Mr. Rosendich. Comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Citizens' comments, we have just a few staff members here, so we'll go to number 4. Construction update presented by Chris Hawley, Street Superintendent. Chris.
Good evening, everybody. Before I get to our notable accomplishments since we last met, I just want to make a few comments on HUD City Days. From the street department perspective, everything went really well working with Main Street. We shut down South Central on Friday at 3 p.m. from Vets to 4th and around the Wenzel Family Plaza. And then we came in early Saturday morning and we finished off the closure for the Saturday events. And that was the rest of South Central from 4th to 11th, Maple around the community center. And then Main Street took over from there. They opened up South Central at 3 p.m. on Saturday and opened everything up after that, after all the festivities were done. So it was great working with Main Street, the police department, the fire department, and everything went really smooth. One other announcement I have, we receive a lot of phone calls on the fall cleanup clean sweep program, and I'm happy to announce that this year it will be held on August 28th. That's a Saturday at the Saratoga Town Hall from 8 to noon. Each year it switches between Saratoga and the city of Marshfield. So next year it'll be held back here at the city of Marshfield. Project updates since we last met. Third, between Mulberry and Magnolia, pulverizing is completed with asphalt to be scheduled. Of course, Magnolia, third to Adler, the same thing. Pulverizing is completed and asphalt to be scheduled. Ash, Becker to Franklin is paved with shouldering and touch-ups to do next. Laurel Court cul-de-sac began last week. The ditching and tiling is completed. The pulverizing is also completed, and everything's progressing well on that project. So asphalt to be scheduled on that. We'll find more out on Tuesday on these asphalt to be scheduled when we talk to American Asphalt. That's when they do their calendars for the week is on Tuesdays. Harrison cul-de-sac east of Peach is now completed. We replaced some curb and gutter out there, and then we repaved it, and that's all done. The 4th Street cul-de-sac west of Columbus, the ditching, tiling, black dirting, seeding, and pulverizing is completed out there also. Of course, asphalt to be scheduled. Pine 4th to 6th started today and is going along real well. 25th Maple Divine, again, the ditching, tiling, black dirting, and seeding is completed and pulverized, and the asphalt's to be scheduled. Park and Clark, Water Department completed water main and services on Park and are now on Clark. We Energies will follow up after that in replacing their gas main and their services there. And we will come in after We Energies is completed in Park and Clark. West McMillan overlay is going great. McMillan is open from St. Joe's to Oak. The north side concrete repairs are completed from Fig to Central, and anticipate the south side to be completed by the end of, possibly by the end of this week, maybe weather permitting, or the end of next week. We have it scheduled for paving on the week of August 23rd, but that may get moved up a week. The alley between Central, Maple, Arnold, and Blodgett is completed. We just have to do some minor touch-ups there also. And as always, we seem to find time to, along with our project work, we seem to not have time to set some new culverts, citizen requests, culverts, ditching, drain tile, cleaning, and so forth. So with that, things are going well. We've had great weather, a little warm and humid out there, but the guys are doing great. And I'll entertain any questions if anybody has any.
Any questions for Chris?
I do.
Mr. Rosendich.
Thank you. Is there any update on the new subdivision and when that potentially breaking ground with the roads and such?
Dan can answer that.
Yeah, the contracts have been signed, and the contractor is working on a schedule. They've indicated a mid-August start, so around, today's the 2nd, in the next couple of weeks, we'd expect to see some work going on there. We're in the process right now, working with the farmer to get some of the corn cleared out of the way before construction can start. But we're just a couple of weeks away from seeing some action.
When you say action, what does that entail? Like for those people that live on Birch and Cypress, are they going to see some major activity?
Well, it's full construction, so there'll be heavy equipment, topsoil removal first, and then underground construction, sewer and water. So there'll be some significant activity there. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Number 5, update on Manville Lift Station project presented by Sam Warp, wastewater superintendent. Sam.
Thank you. The Manville Lift Station is right along Highway 13. So if you're running 13 or Veterans, north towards Spencer, you get to the very last stoplight, kind of on your right hand, the northeast corner, there's a lift station there. It's just a can station now, so you just see a little metal dome sticking out of the ground. We'll be upgrading that. We actually went out for bids last November 2020. Bids were due December 1st. On December 15th, the council approved the project. Got all the contracts signed. They started ordering equipment in February. And with the hope of starting the first week in May. And we're in the first week of August, and the pumps just showed up. The problem with that is all we got was the pumps. We didn't get the elbows, we didn't get the rails, we didn't get the fittings. So we got 2 pumps that don't do us any good, but we're glad they're here. No timeline at all on when the generator will show up. County Materials can make the concrete for us. Haas said they had a few fittings laying around they could probably use for that, but they're having trouble getting pipe as well. So we kind of set this up as a progress report, but I can tell you we have not had any progress yet. So we still have to put in a natural gas main for the generator and that. So once construction actually starts, they'll come over and run that down for us. But I wish I could tell you more, but all I can say is we're just like everybody else. Can't get parts. Don't know when they'll show up. Pumps actually were shipped from Europe because they couldn't find any in America. So,
Any questions for Sam?
the way it is.
Sam, is that the last canned lift station then?
That's the last can lift station.
That's a positive where the guys don't have to go down in there and.
Yep, we're removing all the confined space entry now. With the last one, we'll be switching over to submersible pumps. So you got to work on a pump, you stand up on ground, you pull the pump up to you and work on it. So that's the driving force on replacing that one.
Anybody? Okay, thank you, Sam. Number 6, review of trial period for U.S. Post Office mailbox in the Baltus lot, presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works. Dan.
Thank you. You'll recall that back in early 2020, the city of Marshfield acquired the former Baltus Quick Loop site at 110 South Central Avenue. Shortly thereafter, the request was made to look at putting a U.S. Postal Service mailbox in that parking lot to allow for drive-up mail drop-off. So that was approved back in March of 2020, but the mailbox itself didn't get placed until August 2020. Post office had to go through some of their approval steps, location. Then they had a major roofing project on their site and used part of that Baltus lot for parking of contractor equipment, whatnot. So long story short, this was only put in about a year ago. The minutes from Board of Public Works approval back in 2020 indicated this was a trial period to be reviewed. After 6 months, well, it's been a year now because of the delay in getting it installed, but we've seen no problems at all with it since it's been installed. I use it often and it's very convenient, handy. Checked with the police department and they have seen no issues. And the street department uses that building from time to time for some storage. No conflicts with any of those operations. So at this point, we'd recommend that the post office box be allowed to stay on site indefinitely until something would change with our use of that former Baltus.
Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to approve. Motion by Fire, second by Fisher. Comments, questions? go ahead,
The
Mr.
comment I got is when they have, like what they had this weekend, they shouldn't put the dumpster right next to the mailbox. I don't know how he ever got anything out of it. They had it backed up right to the mailbox. You couldn't drive and drop off because they had that big dumpster in the way. I don't know who dropped the dumpster. He must have been sleeping on the sweat.
Anybody else? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 7, review of collection process for bulky waste items presented by Dan Connect, Director of Public Works. Dan.
Thank you. Every once in a while, I get a question about how the bulky items get picked up from our, with our residential waste collection. And the best way to get those picked up is to call ahead, call advanced disposal ahead of time, and I'll give out a phone number here shortly. But when they get a call on that, they generate a work order and it goes out to their crew. They send a different truck to pick up those bulky items, and those items would typically be couches, mattresses, carpet, that kind of thing. If people don't call ahead, let advance know that they have something there, then the driver would report it when he comes by, send a call back to dispatch, let them know there's something out on the curb. Then first they'd generate a work order. They wouldn't come back until the next week to pick it up. And so, you think about your garbage collection, normal day is on a Thursday, so you set your couch out on a Thursday, but you don't call it in. The driver sees it, he reports it, but it doesn't get scheduled to pick up for the next Thursday. If you buy that new mattress on a Saturday and you put your old one out on the curb on Saturday, but your pickup day isn't until Thursday, then it sits out a week before the driver sees it and another week before they get on a schedule. So I think if people can call in, you're going to have better luck in getting it removed quickly. The other thing I was going to mention is that these bulky items do not include construction debris. If you're remodeling in your house, that debris is not going to get picked up by advanced disposal. Appliances, electronics, tires, all those kinds of things are not picked up. They're just couches, mattresses, carpet, bulky furniture, those kinds of things. So I guess the lesson is that make sure you call ahead. And that number for the local dispatcher is 715-502-3565. So with that, I'm going to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions, just more or less a comment. Is there a way we can get our communications department to just try and find a way to communicate that to the public?
In fact, I talked to Tom today and he's going to put it on the website about that. So Tom or David will. Yeah, it's, I'm glad you mentioned about appliances because I see a washer or dryer sitting out by one place now and we got to get that. I didn't mention that to Tom, but we should get that out to them as well, what they don't pick up, because sometimes it sits there a while. And go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to mention one other thing is that you can take these items out to advanced disposal yourself if you like to haul them out there. Typically, the bulky items are no charge. You may have to show proof of residency to have that at no charge. The electronics, appliances, construction debris, and so forth, there is a charge for those. If you would like to get rid of them yourself, you can haul that out on your own schedule.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Dan. Number 8, recommended items for future agendas. Mr. Fisher.
I'm going to get a reputation. I got a...
You might already have it.
Yeah, I probably already have a reputation. But I know this is going to make Quentin's day, but I had a constituent reach out to me and ask me to have the Board of Public Works look at discussing ATV use in the city of Marshfield. Well, yeah, but you don't like it when people, talk to me, some of my constituents. So I know better. But at the end of the day, I have a constituent that asked me to put that on. So I would like to discuss it at a future.
Mm-hmm. Quentin, do you have anything that's...
No, because I really hate it when people talk to me. So I would, why, what?
Okay. right, we'll
I
put
guess you
that,
can clear that up afterwards, because I'd like to know where that actually comment came from.
okay. Anybody have anything else to put on the future agenda? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Rosendich and Mr. Marshall, thank you. We are adjourned.
You know,